Everybody, this is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you. I'm back home again. I'm back home in Manila with 15 minutes of fame. So guys, if you want to become famous and get your 15 minutes of fame, why not reach out this week? Let's have a chat. Think about it, guys. A TV commercial is going to set you back 30 grand. If you want some 10 radio spots, going to set you back probably 3 to 5 grand. You can come on 15 minutes of fame where it's all about you. We introduce you to the world. We put you across Snapchat, Reddit, Quora, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course, YouTube with all your social media links, and we make you more famous than what you already are. So if you want your 15 minutes of fame, feel free to come on the show, just like our guests from my home country, Australia. I've got a wonderful man here today. His name is Mr. Brad Delaney. And Brad's current role is he's the Headshot Guys owner and photographer. Company name, of course, is the Headshot Guys. Industry, media content creation and marketing. He's still, like me, still learning. He's only done this for 40 years, guys. Can you imagine what you learn in 40 years? Reach out to this guy, have a cup of coffee. Costs you nothing to have a chat and get some advice. He's a cool guy. He's happy to help you guys, but reach out. There's the only way you can do that. Right, brief description of the business. He shoots studio headshots for corporate actors, models, movie stars, real estate, commercial, business photos, and people like you. We all need a headshot, guys. You know, think about your social media, your LinkedIn, all your different profiles. They've got a decent headshot, guys. They can attract a shitload of business. Trust me, I know all about it. Right? Key achievements or projects: 2023 APAC's Best Portrait Studio in Australia. That's quite an achievement. Personal motto or philosophy: find your passion, be patient, be persistent. Isn't that true, guys? Be persistent. Trust the process, guys. If you've got a good process, trust it. It's chicken one day and feathers the next, but trust the process and keep improving it. All right. Interesting fact about himself, he has an MBA from Surrey University in Oxford, UK. All right. And we've got all these social details here. We'll be putting them across all the different social media channels, guys. Same as we would for you. It's my great pleasure to introduce Brad Delaney all the way from the Gold Coast. Good afternoon, Brad. How are you, buddy?
G'day, Jeff. How you doing? Good to see you.
Going awesome, buddy. Going awesome. Okay, let's get this show underway. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your current career path. Where did it all begin?
Oh, I can go all the way back to being a youngster, but I come from a family of artists. My mum was a painter, and my brother is a painter. I can't draw stick figures, so I probably mid to late teens. Someone handed me, listen, can you take a photo? And I went, oh, geez, I like this. And really have been taking photographs ever since. So, you know, the better part of 40 years, I guess, probably even a little bit more. But yeah, certainly that was how it was. And back in those days, it was a little Instamatic film camera.
I was going to say, did you have a box brownie and then you got a Polaroid for your birthday?
Not quite old enough to have a box brownie, but it was an Instamatic. And then I think, I think when I was about 18, my first, I didn't have a digital camera. My first camera was a Nikon film. It was an F3, it was called. So back in those days. So yeah.
So all your purists, all the purists would know that one, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. Yep.
Tell me, as you've been going along, what's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how have you overcome it? You tell me you've been traveling. You've been to Japan and a few other places. What's been the challenging part of your work?
Yeah, I guess certainly early days, the biggest challenge is feeling worthwhile, and I think that's true across a lot of people.
All of us, yeah.
People don't feel like I'm not good enough to do it. So that's always a challenge. Sort of getting some self-belief, I think, is really difficult. I believe then once I've established and go, okay, my photos, I believe, are good enough to go out into the marketplace and actually make a living doing it. The next challenge for me is that most of my clients don't like being photographed. And the headshot market is a relatively new market. Like, you can go back and there's weddings and there's baby photos and there's portraits and there's real estate and all that kind of stuff. But the headshot market is really been driven predominantly since the social media's been around, certainly for corporates. I know actors have been working off headshots for a long time, but certainly from a corporate perspective, your local lawyer he doesn't want to get a headshot. He
No.
doesn't. He can't think of anything worse than coming into a studio and having to have a close-up headshot. But so that's been a challenge as well. Moving forward, that's always going to be a challenge, because I think there's a lot of crappy photographers out there that don't know how to photograph people well enough. And people have this loop that goes around the brand. I talk about this loop all the time.
Yes.
I hate having my photograph taken. I always look like crap, and I'm not photogenic. And people, that's what people think. Most people, I believe, look like crap in their photographs, predominantly because they've just simply never been taught how to do it correctly.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I break the camera when they take mine, so I know what you're talking about.
So first challenge was probably self-belief. Second challenge is client self-belief.
Yes. So, tell me, what's a typical session? How long does a typical session take if I come and have my headshot?
My session is 90 minutes, normally about
awesome.
90 minutes. So it's and people go, 90 minutes, what the hell? But at the end of 90 minutes, I'm going to step you through my process, where we'll get your jawline, we'll get your eyes, we'll get your mouth all in the right spot.
In sync. Yep.
Two major facets to being photographed: head position and expression.
Yes.
Now, most people, they don't think about the purpose of their photograph enough. Now, if you're in business, you've got a small business, and I believe a lot of your clientele, people listening to this that follow you, are either mid to large businesses or even small businesses. They don't think about the purpose of their corporate headshot enough. The purpose of your corporate headshot primarily is to get people to move from your image at the top of your profile to your bio. You really want them to
get attention. That's right. It's a flag, isn't it?
Get their attention, and then have them believe that you look like you've got half a clue about the job you do.
Correct.
Yeah. So people go, I want to show my personality. And my first question is, really, why? People don't give a bugger about your personality. They also, for most of my clients, and we put the models and the actors aside, nobody's critiquing your features either. When people are looking at my headshot, they're not looking at me going, oh shit, he's got one ear sticking out more than the other, or he's got one eye bigger than the other, or he's got a big nose. They're not thinking like that. Whereas, I was shooting some people yesterday at Bond University. I have the Bond University deal, and I go to Bond every semester and shoot all their headshots. And this lady, she's like, oh, I've got the thing on my necklace is round the wrong way. And I go, in a corporate world, if people are focusing in on the fact that your necklace, what do you call it, the lynch, is around the wrong way, we've missed the whole purpose in relation to here. People are looking at your headshot, your corporate headshot, to try and work out whether or not you've got half a clue about your job. So you need to get your head in the right position, and then you need to have your expression. Now, there's only three things on your face that you can move that will change your expression: your mouth, your eyes, and your eyebrows.
Yeah.
So once you start manipulating those three things, you want to look confident and you want to look capable.
Yeah,
and
fair enough.
Kind of the process that I step people through.
Okay. Tell us about an important moment in your career that pretty much changed the direction in which you were going.
I think probably 2009, 2010. Shooting anything and everything. I was doing some work with a business coach who said, really, you've got to find a niche. Your photos are fabulous, but I was shooting portraits, and I was shooting commercial buildings, and I was shooting high-end boats. And he said, you've really got to find a niche. And it was kind of about that time that I went, yeah, okay, I've got to find a niche that I can be the guy. Whether it's on the go, at first, initially it was Gold Coast, then my plan was Southeast Queensland, and now more, I suppose, lately, winning that award meant Australia. So you start to get recognition a little bit wider in the field. But it was about having a niche and becoming the guy in that niche, because back in 2008, 9, 10, not a lot of people were specializing in headshots. So, but I saw a need that was coming out of America, and I thought we generally follow their trends. And I know we talked about this before, but eventually it'll arrive here and people will start to go, oh yeah, I need a headshot on the top of LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever they put it. So that was probably the biggest.
A good niche, no doubt.
Yeah.
Tell me your opinion. What are the key qualities or skills that have helped contribute to your success apart from your determination?
Understanding my craft, I think, not relying on Photoshop, understanding that that you need to have a good understanding of a camera and how it works.
Yes.
You've got to have a good work ethic. People often will say to me, you know, I'm really passionate about photography. I love taking photographs. So people often say, mate, what do you do when you're not taking photographs? Well, that's right. What do you do on your day off? And I go, oh, I take photographs. Oh, what do you do when you're not taking photographs? I think about taking photographs. So I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah, you are.
But again, I run some workshops for people that come in and they go, oh, you know, you do YouTube and you do all this social media, but you're taking photos and you're editing and you're doing all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
Where do you find the time? And I go, I don't watch television. So,
yeah, correct.
You know, other than Aussie Rules, that's my only vice is I watch Aussie Rules footy. But other than that, I don't watch TV. So I've got plenty of time.
Yeah,
I come home, you know. So
me too.
Go,
me too. Now the football's over now. I've got heaps more time now. I was watching eight games a week. You know the story. I was watching 8 games a weekend. There's at 80 minutes a game. So there's about 12 hours every week, guys. Then I watch the footy show every night for an hour. So there's another 5 gone. But now I got 13 free hours left. So I'm thinking, wow, what am I going to do with myself?
your business will explode.
Absolutely. I got 13 more hours to put into it. Right, and when you when you do headshots and photography for 40 years, guys, you get very, very good at it. Think about that, guys. Right, how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field, Brad?
Well, I think it's a passion, and I think I always feel very, very blessed. Lucky, again, I'm sure lucky is probably not the right word because I work bloody hard. But
yeah, the harder you work, the luckier you get, my friend.
Yes, exactly right. But I feel blessed that I was able to, and I know this is going to sound really weird, and some people get a bit annoyed. I was lucky I got cancer because that made me refocus and pivot and go, shit, I've got a second chance. I recovered. And I was able to go, oh, I don't want to spend 10 minutes doing shit that I don't want to do anymore. And I pivoted into photography and made it my sort of goal to keep doing it.
Yeah, so, your attitude reflects on your altitude, right?
Yeah, I think so. So passion is probably a really big one for me. I love what I do. So
yeah, that's very obvious, mate. Tell me a recent project or an achievement that you're particularly proud of.
Well, I guess my recent award where for APAC approached me and said, hey, listen, we've been through all the photographers in Australia and mate, listen, your stuff is better and
fantastic.
And
what a wonderful achievement.
So, right. Yeah, so being the best portrait headshot studio in Australia was pretty significant, I felt.
Yeah, absolutely.
I certainly enjoyed
something to be proud of. I mean, it's good that when your peers recognise your work, isn't it?
It is for sure, particularly from a business perspective as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
There's not a lot of other headshot photographers out there. There's a lot of photographers who shoot anything and everything, particularly, you know, in particular what I did 13 years ago. Not a lot of specialist headshot photographers. So it's nice to be recognised.
Fair enough. What advice would you give someone aspiring to sort of follow in your footsteps and go down that career path of being a specialist photographer?
But again, be passionate. Make it you live and breathe. And I think in most things these days, I think whatever you do, whether you're a car mechanic or you're a shoe salesman,
and it shows, doesn't it? It shows through
the guru.
Yeah, the public understand that. You know, it shows through. They when they go, wow, this guy really cares about his business. You know, makes a big difference.
I think you got to love it. I think you got to love what you do, and if you can see your way clear to be able to maneuver your way into working out, you know, the hardest part about that is really, I think, working out what you actually do love to begin with.
Yes.
And I love a guy called 𝐌𝐢𝐭𝐡, who you've heard of him, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But someone asked him the question, how do you find your passion? And he said his answer to that was, if I gave you $20 million right now so that your money was not an issue anymore, you didn't have to pay off your mortgage and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You were set for the rest of your life. What would you do every day?
Yes.
And if you cannot sit down and honestly ask you that question, you take the money out of the question, what would you do every day? Whatever that answer is, that's probably what you're passionate about. Do that and then work out how to monetize it. So I thought,
well, for me, that's an interesting perspective. For me, instantly, it'd be travel. Love traveling and meet interesting people like yourself, different types of food. I mean, what's better than travel and food and meeting new people and having new experiences?
Oh, exactly.
You know,
and,
life's boring without that.
Food, you go, okay, I really love food. Okay, well, why not go to your local restaurants and start critiquing them and writing up
correct. Be a food critic. That's right, for a living. And that funny enough, you say that. We're so
lucky. We've got these platforms.
Yes.
That, we've got Facebook, it's free. We've got Instagram, free. TikTok, it's free.
Yeah. All of them.
You've got so much stuff out there that you can just, and okay, you might have to do it on the weekend while you're doing your 9 to 5 for a while, which
for a while
I like to do that. We've all done that.
Yep.
But if you're passionate about it, you'll stick at it, and all of a sudden you've got 10,000 followers who are tuning in to find out what you thought about blah, blah, blah restaurant. Then you get the restaurants are ringing you up going, hey, listen, man, come in and give me a critique because we've changed our chef. And but I don't know. You just got to be passionate, I think.
Funny you should say that. I'm doing, because I'm doing 2 side gigs very quickly, guys. I'm doing restaurant critiques. And I'm also doing, so I get free accommodation, I'm also doing media collaboration with hotels. I reach out to hotels or resorts that are new and say, I'll come and video your place for you, talk it up, put it across all the social media channels in return for a couple of nights accommodation. Win-win.
Yep.
Nice win-win. And I get to go somewhere for free, and they get the word spread and pick up a few more clients. So it's a win-win, guys.
LinkedIn's another one that people I don't think they use it adequately enough. Just start working on your profile, create videos, create things in your speciality. I get these kids come in that get their headshots done, and they go, I'm into financial advice. Okay, who are you advising to? Well, 25 to 35-year-olds. Okay, become that guy. Become that. Just put little videos talking about what they should be doing, what they should be thinking about, and then you
become the guy. That's right.
Become the guy.
Yeah. And I'd add to that, guys, get a mentor. Reach out to people like myself or Brad and ask for some advice. I mean, Brad's just dropped some golden nuggets there for you guys, so pick them up. They're on the floor for you. Pick them up. Action gets traction. Guys, I'm in the middle of writing a book at the moment. It's not Think and Grow Rich. It's called Act and Grow Rich. You can think all you like, but action gets traction, right?
And be patient and work your ass off, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, true. And Brad will tell you, it's chicken and feathers, guys. Some days you're trying to eat feathers. Next day the chicken comes, you say, oh, it's all been worth it. And it is worth it, guys. You've got to persevere and remember the lurkers are watching. They're out there. Just keep putting out that content and make it resonate with people, guys. Tell them a story.
Eat chicken, you've got to not be scared to go back occasionally and eat feathers.
Yeah, that's the one.
And then you might be chicken feathers. You've got to do a lot of that stuff.
No doubt about it, right? And put some of the eggs away. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Add to that, right? Yes. Looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations, Brad? You're killing it at the moment. What other goals and aspirations have you got?
I have been kind of talking about for a long time expanding into other states.
Interesting.
And I'm doing that sort of toss up at the moment. Do I expand into other niches in my area, or do I expand my niche into other areas?
What are you thinking of franchising, or just jumping on a plane and going Melbourne one week, Sydney the next week?
Sure about franchising. Franchises don't get a big rap. and they're bloody expensive to set up, is my understanding of all that. Licensing could be another way to go.
Ilk.
I do, because there are a lot of photographers out there that do shoot headshots. Most average photographers, if you ring them up and go, will you shoot my headshot? They'll go, yes. And they'll come over and they'll take 5 minutes and they'll shoot your headshot and they'll stand you up against the wall and tell you to smile. And you'll go,
with a mobile phone.
I hate it, but it's, I'm not flash looking, and they've got to use it. And that's why so many headshots look terrible.
Average,
because they have ordinary photographers doing it in 10 minutes.
Yes.
I've got to be really careful, because I believe that I have a brand and a look and a style, but I have these sessions that are 90 minutes. So, and actually teach people how to become photogenic, which I think is certainly part of the course.
That's the key to it.
I've got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, fair enough. Tell me, how can our listeners and people watching this reach out and find out more about you and your wonderful services?
Well, again, the Headshot Guys is out there, certainly in Australia. It ranks very, very well in Google. So if you did a quick Google search for the Headshot Guys, I'll be all over it. Facebook, I'm on the Headshot Guys or Brad Delaney. Instagram, I'm Brad K Photos. So it's a little bit harder to find me on Instagram, but I do a little bit of different stuff on Instagram. It's more probably modeling and wave art, which is another little thing, another little niche that I have. But yeah, so Facebook, just Googling the Headshot Guys will probably find me, and my website, theheadshotguys.com.au.
Well, we can't let you go without this one. Before we wrap it up, tell us a fun fact about yourself that people don't know, Brad.
Oh, a fun fact. Let's see. I suppose if you're from the Gold Coast, you would know the convention centre. So the convention centre on the Gold Coast started out of one of my master's degree projects way back in the 90s.
How awesome is that?
So that's probably something that a lot of people don't know about the Gold Coast Convention Centre. I was sponsored through my MBA from Conrad Jupiter's back in those days, Hilton Hotels, Conrad Jupiter's. My project in the beginning was to do a study on the expansion of their existing convention centre, which obviously was attached. It's now called the Star, but it was connected back in those days. And the figures that I extrapolated out were taken, that project was taken to Las Vegas, which the head office was at that particular point in time. And it came back and said, hey, listen, we probably need to develop this. So I think the original convention centre was in cahoots with the government and Hilton Hotels and the conventions. I'm not sure what the connection is anymore, because I know that Conrad Jupiter's has now moved on to the Star, and I don't know who owns it now,
that's an awesome legacy. My claim to fame, you put me onto my one, is that my brother-in-law, I was the engineer when we went and pitched to build KL Twin Towers, and I was the engineer, and he got the contract and made over $20 million for himself. And I was the engineer in the room, and I was the white man. And guys, I was not an engineer. I had a white shirt and a tie and a coat and a big folder, and I was just doing what he told me, right? And he introduced me as his engineer, because he was the guy with the authority from Australia, the white engineer. I think it went a little bit of a way to getting the contract. So there's a fun fact, guys. So guys, I'll wrap it up now. Thank you for being on the show, Brad. And anyone else who wants to be on 15 Minutes of Fame, as you can see, guys, it's a lot of fun. We tell the world about your story, and every man and woman's got a story. So come on, guys, come on, 15 Minutes of Fame, and love to see you. Thanks for being on the show today, Brad. It's been awesome.
No worries, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
No trouble.